Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you are good. I hope you are well. Welcome back to the second edition, which has been moved from the 2nd all the way to the 14th of July of Eugene and mine's show of To Frank or Not to Frank. Eugene, my co-host, how are you, my brother?
I'm doing great. It's been hectic, exciting week. My PTSD is almost gone. I'm feeling the positive vibes. I'm excited.
That's what we like to hear. So, as you know, this is going to be a monthly show. The next one will be the beginning of September because we're about to go into August and football is back. The Thomas Frank era is up and running and we get to see what the man is going to do. So this show tonight is to be about an hour long and we are just going to have a brief chat about Thomas Frank. There's not really much Thomas Frank to speak about, but we're going to go over a few bits and then we'll move on to general Spurs talk because there really at the moment, Eugene, isn't that much, is there? So before we get into it, let's just say hello to everyone. My brother, Terry O'Shea, big up to you, brother. YouTube member, European champion. Mr. Ali, hello to you, European champion. My brother, Craig O'Sullivan, is franking as we speak. Take of that as you will. Big up to you, European champion. As is Lisa. Big up to you. Jack, hello. It's Morgan Gibbs White. It's Morgan Gibbs White. Or the other tune that I've made that I think is better. I think it is better, which is Don't Worry About a Thing, because every little thing is going to be Gibbs White. That's the one. I think I'm going with that one, but we'll see what happens. Big up to my brother, Hotspur Hood, European champion. I will say, Hotspur Hood, I've just retweeted it. I'm going to get Ben to put the link and everything on our community section. Hotspur Hood has just done a very short stream about a charity stream to support and help. I believe it's a 14 or 15-year-old Spurs fan that is going through some health issues. So everyone, please go watch that video. And if you can, retweet it, share it, do whatever you can so we can try and help a Spurs fan who's going through some medical issues and try and make a difference. Big up to you, Dan, brother, for doing it. And you know everyone at Tottenham on Tour will be there to support you with whatever you need. The Spurs fan, big up to you. PTSD, yeah, listen, we'll get into Morgan Gibbs White is the main news and we will discuss it. Everyone European champion, because I'm going to forget to say it to people. So I'm going to say European champion to all. Big up, lads, Charlie. Big up, Henry. Big up to you. Ghosted, my man. I hope you're good and well. Scott M, don't be saying that. I know you're joking. You won't be saying that. Big up, the Kaufman. Audio, brother. I hope you're good. Everyone's loving the Bob Marley tune. Big up, Dan. I hope you're good and well. Let's have a look. Mate, my pleasure. There's the link there. Everyone go give that a watch. And obviously the man, Craig. Craig, I've already retweeted something that he did. If you can retweet that tweet, and obviously the longer and the more build up and more information, the Spurs Tottenham on Tour family and the Spurs YouTube family will all come together and support the Hotspur Hood. And I can't remember the name of the boy. Was it Riley? Dan, put the boys up. I'm sure it was Riley. But big up to the Hotspur Hood for doing that. And James Flower is in the building. So let's Morgan. I like that, Luxo. I like that. Harley. I was close with Riley. Harley. So, guys, put questions in, but when we do it, put a Q dash or TOT dash. We always start with opening statements about where we are with Thomas Frank. You had your statement in June when the appointment, I can't remember when we had it. Had he been appointed and we're just waiting, or was it just on the, whatever it was? Where are you right now when it comes to Thomas Frank?
Ugh. As I was telling you earlier, I feel like I woke up in a different timeline last week. When we did our first show and in our WhatsApp group, my initial reservations were that I felt like the club was signaling to us with the hiring of Thomas Frank that we're going to go young and we'll need a coach to develop our youngsters. My point was that's all great, but I want to see some ambition from the club. And based on our history, we haven't seen that before. That's why I was negative. Now, with the way things are moving along, if we're going to get the signings across, if Gibbs White is going to happen, which it will happen, if we're going to get a 6, which looks like we will, it just seems like the club finally has a plan. If Frank is a great coach, which everybody says he is, we have enough youth on our team that he can coach up. However, we're getting talent that's ready to start, that's been proven in the Prem, and I'm excited about it. So I haven't felt that positive about the club for a while. And I feel like a manager is a big piece of it, is a part of it. So I feel much better about Frank as a coach, about what his hiring signaled, and just about where we're going as a club. So all good for me.
So it's only taken a few weeks for you to jump onto board the Frank Express and give it a fucking chew, yeah?
Well, I'm consistent. Look, I've been saying all along, a coach or a manager can only do so much.
Yeah.
You can give us Ancelotti, Zidane, Xavi. If the players are not good enough, the manager is not going to win. So I wanted to see any manager that comes in, I want to see that manager backed. And by backing, we always argue, has this manager been backed or not? In my mind, backing means the signings that make sense for the style that the manager wants to play, for the formation. And the players that we're getting in LinkedIn, they fit with what Frank seemingly wants to do. So in my mind, that's a good sign.
There you go. Well, it's time for my reflection and my opening statement on Thomas.
I wonder what that's going to be, Brian. I wonder.
Spurs fan, you are just like me, buddy. If it's even possible, I love him even more. That's all I say. Do you know what I've loved? Obviously, people will know how much I've wanted him and praised him for so long. And obviously, there was a lot of, oh, he's not good enough. What's he won? What's he done? He hasn't been able to get players. My God, how quickly things have changed. When people did, as we were speaking about before, the videos that I put links for, and everyone was sharing them on social media and seeing what this man is all about and how he talks and how he does things has just been brilliant. And he comes in, his opening video, his opening, whatever you want to call it, what do you say, interview for Spurs fans to digest what Frank is about, to see why people should be Frankaholics. The reaction it got, to me, it was absolutely flawless. Flawless. And you've seen, and we'll get into the videos and your responses to it, Eugene. The response to those videos and seeing his coaching staff and Justin Concrane doing the coaching, to see the Spurs fans, players who I must admit all looked really miserable, didn't they? They looked devastated and didn't want to play for a manager. They've come in. Even, do you know what? Even the video today with Kudus, and he's talking and he goes, I want to meet your family, blah, blah, blah. And even the bit when he's trying to walk out and he walks out the wrong door and he laughs about, I don't know where I'm going. He just looks so happy. The players look so happy. I cannot wait for, is it Saturday we play Reading? When we actually get to see Thomas Frank play football and we get to see the players playing. I can't wait. This week he's going to have to drop a press conference, and that'll be the opening one. I can't wait for that. It is just happy days. How are people in the chat feeling? There's over 100 of you in here already. Thank you so much for joining us. What were your feelings of Frank when he signed, and what are your feelings of him now for people in the chat? And I will just quickly bring up something from Daniel. I saw Daniel say thank you. Where was it? He said, thank you for doing these streams. Listen, we have got our, there it is. We've got our mojo back at Tottenham on tour. A lot of it was me, because obviously Ben's doing a lot, and obviously I wanted to do a lot, but situations changed or things were going on. But boy, have I got my mojo back. We've got Frank, who I wanted. We're about to get Morgan Gibbs-White, and we will talk in depth about him, because obviously everyone is, and it's what's generating so much talk right now. Then I think the takeover and the investment, even if it's naming rights and sponsorship, I think that's going through. It is every Spurs fan should have their mojo back right now, that things are going to be happening in a good way. But let's just see. People are saying confident. Paulinho, I've seen Lord Ronnie Trolls. Here we go. Was very happy when he signed. I think that, yeah, listen, the coaching staff, Eugene, let's just talk about the coaching staff very, very quickly and get your views, because another thing I think people have got to look at and see why I think there's big changes at Spurs, and I mean takeover and investment. How many managers have we seen in talks before fallen short because we won't pay for their coaching staff or allow them to bring it? Or even Nuno wasn't allowed to bring his number 2 where he's at everywhere. When has it happened that Spurs have allowed, I think it's 8 coaches to come in? I even think when you look at that coaching setup, Eugene, it just looks levels. I think it looks levels above anything we've had under Levy. And I include Antonio Conte's coaching team, Jose Mourinho's coaching team, which were all put together by the club and the manager. This has been the manager and Johan Lang. How are we feeling about the coaching staff? How are you feeling about it?
Oh, I'm feeling great. As you said, it's critical for Frank to bring in his people. And again, I'm going back to what I've been saying again and again. It's what it signals to us, to the players, and to the club. I'm not sure if it's Vinay or if it's whoever else, but everything seems to be different. The interviews, the Kudus announcement, hiring or bringing in, the assistant managers, everything seems to be different. And it just signals to me that something is changing. What exactly is changing, we will see. But the club is putting Frank in a position to succeed, which is important to me. They're not like before, as you said, we're going to hire a manager, but he cannot bring anybody else with him. Now we're saying, hey, Frank, we're going to bring you in. We're going to get you the players that you want and the coaching staff that you want. So again, this signals to me like something is changing in the club.
There we go. So before we carry on, Moondog, my brother, thank you so much for putting in a super chat. Very, very kind of you. Good evening, lads. I feel positive for this season. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, and you, Eugene, have you ever felt more positive and upbeat going into a season than you are right now? And remember, we still got 6 weeks of the window left. 6 weeks of the team being able to coach, do what they do. Have you ever felt this positive going into a season?
Not in a while. And I'm looking at James's comment, and I agree. I'm falling back in love with the club. As you've seen again in our WhatsApp group, I've been negative for a while. Last season, I had high hopes, and the window was shambolic. I think all of us had some high hopes after the 5th place finish. We thought, this is the time where the club is going to kick on. We did not, right? We signed Solanke, and that's pretty much it. And for me, it was, that's how we just do business again, and I lost hope. Now, as James said, I'm falling back in love with the club. It just seems like whoever is making decisions, they're doing the right thing. Just again, what it signals to the fans, how stuff is being done. I haven't been this excited about start of the season in a while.
There's two comments I want to bring up quickly because we're going to make this one as interactive as possible. We'll get into questions and everything soon because obviously there isn't that much Frank or what he's done to speak about. So if you guys have any questions about anything, Frank or whatever, fire away. But the two things I want to bring up very quickly is, like my man and my partner of the channel, Kaufman, said, thanks to a mighty push from Sava on Football Heritage TV on Friday and the mothership, Tottenham on Tour, the mothership, We Are Tottenham TV, we picked up an extra 400 subscribers like that on Friday. And thanks to people watching that, we're now getting a lot more subscribers and thankfully a lot more likes, which is pushing it out there. Guys, we are 622 away from a huge milestone for us. So anyone that hasn't, please subscribe or share this and get your friends, your family involved, because it's going to be positive Tottenham on Tour with all things Frank, all things players coming in, and please God, with new investment in the football club. Zach, thank you very much indeed, buddy, and I hope you and your family are doing well and with each other during the hard time you're having. And Scott, this is the one I wanted to bring up. I think, usually I'll ask you, I actually think this is a better coaching team than Poch. And the reason I say that, before I go into it, the reason I say that is when Poch came in, he brought in his coaching staff, which are fantastic, don't get me wrong, but they weren't reputable, they weren't known. Don't get me wrong, as a unit, phenomenal. What they did, incredible. I think Cochrane is incredible. I think positions are being filled and the whole setup is actually set up from top to bottom, whichever way you want to look at the roles, where they're all filled. And I actually think the goalkeeping coach that we have just brought in from Liverpool is going to be absolutely monstrous for us in years to come with the young keepers we got, with the two goalkeepers we got right now. I do agree, Scott, that Poch's team was very, very good. But I think the way the structure of Frank's, I actually think it's better. What about you, Eugene?
I mean, I'm going to lie if I say I know everything about those coaches. I'm just going by what I hear from others who know. And everybody who I talk to and everybody who I listen to is very impressed by the coaching staff. So again, I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert, but again, based on what the experts are saying, it's really exciting.
There you go. So right, Joe, let's deal. I'm just trying to see the questions coming in. I am starring them. Max, you're right, buddy. I think we are on a completely new path. I have to say, if the takeover deal, sponsorship, whatever, turns out to be hot air, then I'm going to be very frustrated as hot air again. I will tell you now, if Morgan Gibbs White falls through, which we're going to talk about now, which, like I said, 1,000,000% goes through to me. 1,000,000%, no ifs, buts, and maybes. But if he does, I'm just going to put a Twitter GIF. If it fell apart, I'm just do a Twitter GIF. Brian Dagul is out of office for the next few weeks. Do not message him. It will just for a joke, because I will need to bury my head in the sand. But for me, I'm not going to have to worry about it, because for me, Morgan Gibbs White will be a Spurs player by the end of the week. Eugene, where are you on Morgan Gibbs White?
I agree. The thing is, when was the last time we went to a team that's ahead of us in standings, that's in Europe, and we said we're going to take your best player, and we just did it in the span of a day or a couple of hours? Since I've been following Spurs, I don't remember that happening. So for me, even forget the player himself, who I think is a great player, just the intent is very strange to see as being a Spurs fan. I'm thinking, that's how the City fans feel. They're just going to go to a team and say, he's mine, and that's it. And I think it's going to happen, like you said. It's going to happen. I think right now they're haggling over, a couple of million, if they want all the 60 million up front, or if we're going to give them 5 more million and, give them 20 or 30 up front. But I think it's going to happen by the end of the week, as you said. And I cannot be more excited. I think he's going to be great for Frank in France.
I think immediately he's our best midfielder. immediately. First team up. I honestly, I've had this chat with Scott M, and we'll check the comments for what people are thinking about Morgan Gibbs. What are people thinking about Morgan Gibbs White, the player? 145 in here. What's your thoughts on Morgan Gibbs White, the player? Because I think, honestly, he literally is going to be such a top player. Like I said, I speak to Scott M a lot. Scott M, I've said by Christmas we'll be going, Brian, you were right. This guy is unbelievable. I think he revolutionises our midfield. I'm going to use big words for him because I just love him.
Oh, I agree. I think the biggest thing for me is that he's a leader, and our team has been lacking the leadership for many, many years. And the way he carries himself on the pitch, he's a leader, and he'll provide a leadership. And for me, that's just as important as his skill set. And I mean, he's flexible enough. He can play in a 10, he can play as an 8. He's going to give us a lot of options. We've struggled against low blocks for the longest time. And now I can just imagine seeing Kudus, Gibbs White, and Madison on the pitch at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's going to be exciting.
Yep. Mate, Max, I have to say his passing, I wouldn't say it's late. His passing is too. He has got a very good pass on him. He really has. But the best thing about him, like I said, he's brilliant going forward. But he will do a 6, 8, and a 10 role in one match. I brought up, I was on, was it Nigel's show? No, Danny's show. It's on Hotspur Hood. His heat map is outstanding. He is an engine. Honestly, he is exactly what we need. It's so much so, I think you and I were talking about it right now. Spurs need him more than we need Eze. If someone said, right, you can have one of them right now, Morgan Gibbs White for me. He is good. There we go. Scott's warm into it. He's warm into it. Brother Ben, I'm so desperate for a dynamic midfielder. Exactly. Mate, there's so many people that are looking forward to seeing him. Underrated, yeah. Big up, Jack. Nipham, big up. Well done for your tournament. You won. Mark is trying to have a wind up with me. He's more than okay. He is more than okay. This is the other thing, Daniel. Joe, what? He gets into the England squad right now. So I think he pushes for a starting place in the World Cup once he's at Spurs. I'm not even joking. I am running. I've never I can't even speak right. When I speak so positively about Tottenham for so long, I start getting my words in a twist. I think he's going to be sensational for us. I don't think he is. Scott. But what I'm saying is, what we need right now. Do we need a Morgan Gibbs White playing the Morgan Gibbs White? What he offers positionally and attribute-wise, I think we need him more than we need Eze. He will get more assists than goals, Jack. I'll tell you that now. He will get more assists than he does goals, but he will be able to get the ball to Madison, who will obviously get a lot of goals. Audio. I can see him. Yeah, listen, I don't know if he'll be captain. It depends if Romero's there, but he has been the captain, and he has been doing well. Actually, before we start taking questions as well, what's your thoughts on Kudus? Or Kudus, shall I say, Eugene?
Oh, that was a great signing as well. He did have a rough season last season, but I do think just being on that West Ham team, being played out of position, he might have, people say he has attitude problems, this and that, but I do think on this team we need a maverick. We need somebody with flair. We need somebody who beats to his own drum, and I really feel like what he gives us, we've been missing for a long time. A flair winger who can take on his man, who's opposite of Johnson. And I feel like now we have him and Johnson who give us completely opposite things. So Frank is going to have a lot of options.
Yep.
On the bench, depending on who we play and depending on the game situations, he's going to have options. It's not going to be like last season or season before, where our bench is filled. We have 5 keepers and 6 youngsters, and that's it, and nobody else. We have a deep squad right now with different options, but Kudus, dynamic, can take on his man. I think he's going to be great.
Yeah. I mean, you got to look at it. First of all, we've all been crying out for that creative player, that aggressive player, that flair player that will take players on and do everything. When you look at it as well, and you see that in all the big leagues, he's second behind Lamel for dribbles, successful dribbles. If that's not enough to get excited about, and what he can bring, and like you said, even with Gibbs White, whether he plays in the 10 or the 8, or both, we're in 4 competitions this season that Frank has to navigate. Frank has to see his way round, and squad rotation and keeping players fit is exactly what he's got to do. Kudus will be brilliant on the right wing. I've got no doubt about it whatsoever. I will say, super sticker from Rick Kane. Cheers, brother. Do you know what? If I had one wish for StreamYard, it would be that they would show the super stickers and they would integrate. So it is really, but thank you very much indeed for your support. As always, Rick, it is very, very much appreciative. Let's see who else enjoying the show, guys. So let's start.
Brian, sorry, one thing on Kudus, and just in general, one thing that I really appreciate is right now we're looking at players who are young but have experience in the Prem versus how we've done business in the past. We get somebody from France or Portugal, wherever, without Prem experience, which is a bigger risk. If you look at United, at the trouble they're in, all those players they got from other leagues. Now we're looking at players with the Prem experience, and we know exactly what they can give us. And I think that's a big positive.
I forgot to say when we're talking Gibbs White, people that are on Twitter, don't fall into a trap that a Notts Forest fan has tried to do. There's a Notts Forest fan that has shown a picture of Gibbs White at training, smiling, singing, whatever.
I saw that.
It was from last season, when Moreno, who was from Aston Villa, is still on loan and in that picture. So do not fall for it. There's so much going on. I will say, let's get back. People, I am reading too much into it because there's no doubt in my mind that when Morgan Gibbs White woke up this morning and he went and said, what shall I wear to go into training today? And he chose blue and white. There is no doubt in my mind that is subliminal messaging and he's putting a message across. I'm just giddy with it. I mean, do you think there was anything into it, Eugene?
Let's assume that he did it on purpose. You know what? Why not?
Plainly, mate.
Why not? It makes us feel better. Why not? It's
kind of like when people say don't wear red when you come to Spurs. He basically could have done that or wear black and white for Notts County. And the message has been sent. I will say big up to someone I haven't seen for a while in here. Yeah, big up, Chris, my fellow Torontonian. I hope you and the family are good and well. Mate, there's room. I mean, I don't think he's going to put one in, but I don't think he's going to need to, in all honesty. But there are some things breaking that he apparently has. But I don't even know if it gets that far to put in a transfer request. So we shall see. I mean, what we'll do, big up to Top Dog, big up to you, buddy. Ben is a top. Oh, look, the Canadians are all coming out here. We've got my favourite how would you say Montrealian? How do you say it, Richard? Mate, do you know what? This is how happy I am. I get so happy and positive with things at the moment. But big up to you, Richard. We will. Oh, and here's my favourite of all the Torontonians. My fellow Torontonian, which now has cued him to put in a funny joke. We're talking about. Yeah, we're going to get. I know who Lord Rodney Trotter wants more than anything. Yeah, listen, Steve, he's got to have. I mean, people, yes or no? Do we think that Morgan Gibbs White has dressed in blue and white on purpose, or do we think Spurs fans are putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with any other number but 4? I just yes or no. You think Y or N that he wore blue and white, and it isn't a coincidence? Exactly. It can't be an accident. You don't exactly. I just can't. I can't see any other way. Yeah, you're right, Jordan. He did mention red wine. That was a bit cringe, that video. But if it's having the output that we're getting right now, so Ben's have a guess at Montrealian, but Richard has put it in. Have I gone past it? Richard has put it in somewhere. So there we go. I can't. Montreal. How would you say that, Eugene?
Montrealer.
There we go. Yes, 100. We've put for him wearing blue and white. Dear. I knew that was coming. Yes. Let's have a look. We got another yes. 100% yes. Coys. I've just seen your question, Daniel. Big up at 8:30 a.m. in Sydney. I've got to go. Have a great day, Rich, and thanks for always being here when you can. Yeah, mate, he's gone blatantly subliminal, hasn't he? He's gone proper. So we've got 18. I think they're questions. They may have been statements we can talk about. Make sure you put Q and TOT. I'm going to go back after every 5 questions that we get through, Eugene, and we'll see if there's any more. And of course, the first one is James Flower, and of course, it's his favourite subject. It's all he knows. I'll tell you what. Whatever day Vicario leaves this football club, whether it be this season because Frank sees other ideas or 10 years down the line, everyone is going to need to go and check on James Flower because I think there will be a case of mourning. Is he the best shot stopper ever, Eugene?
He is good. I'm not even sure how to answer that question without insulting James, but Vic, if he improves his the set piece defending, if he gets stronger, he needs to get in the gym. He needs to take some supplements, some legal supplements. He needs to get bigger, stronger, and he needs to learn how to pass a bit, and then he'll be a top keeper.
Is he the best shot stopper ever? No.
Top 100. Top 100 for sure.
Ever.
That's high praise.
Okay.
I haven't gone through the top 100 list.
Yeah, let's do it. That right now, give us 99 goalkeepers. No, let's see. Question 2. What 2 players you most likely? Which 2 players are you looking forward to seeing most under Frank? Not the best player you are looking forward to. I'll say mine, Porro and Doji. So you said name 2 and you've named 3. Very good, James. Great maths, Mr. Flower brother. Eugene, who is your 2? And everyone put in your 2.
See, with Porro and Udogi, I know what they can do. I think I'm excited to see Archie Gray and Tell. With Archie Gray, we all think he has potential, but we haven't seen it at the 6. I want to see Archie Gray coached up, and I want to see him play the 6 or the 8. And I also want to see what Frank can do with Tell. Everybody else, I know kind of at their best what they're capable of, but Tell and Gray, I'm not sure yet. And Bergvall, I guess, as well.
There you go. I will say there's some. There is some coming in. Let's see what people. Jack is being funny. Brian Hill and Brandon Austin, Madison and Gray, Kulu and Bergvall. Craig has gone. Porro, Morgan Gibbs White and Tell. So he's gone for 3. Berg and Tell from Hotspur State of Mind. Big up, Jeff, my buddy. Big up. Toxic Headshot, big up, brother. I hope you're good and well. I am. Now Nick's talking my language. Donnelly or Divine. I want to see if he's. Yeah, one of them will. Actually, no, I think they'll both go out on loan. I will say, let me just say, I would say, I think I said hello to Jeff, but very good friend of mine. It's always good to see him. I'm going to say Morgan Gibbs White, but he hasn't signed yet, so I'm going to give him my other 2. Dominic Solanke, because I think he's going to score at least 20 goals next season. And if we get the right players in, I'm even prepared to say Premier League wise. Wow. I am that confident that he's going to do well. And then I would say we got Solanke and Brennan. Claire, wonderful Claire, how are you, darling? Bergvall and Bissouma. I don't think Bissouma's going to be here.
She's gotta go. Gotta go.
So I'm going to say, I would say Tell, but I want to say everyone's saying Bergvall as well. I don't want to say the same as everyone else. I'm going to say Solanke. Let's go Destiny. Because I think both fullbacks, I would say Porro, but Craig has said it. But I think Solanke is the number one thing. When people say the number one, I think Solanke, we go night and day. I'm going to bring this up. We don't have someone who just loves defending like Paulinho. When it comes to number 6, let's just have a number 6 talk, people, because that's obviously the area. If it's not Adam Wharton, who I would love it to be, who I would absolutely love. I mean, if I'll tell you now, if Morgan Gibbs White and Adam Wharton signs, there is a new owner at football or a new investor at Tottenham Hotspur, without doubt. I would more than welcome Paulinho. Lord Rodney Trotter, I would say, is going for Paulinho like my love for Morgan Gibbs White. And fair play to him. I think he is absolutely brilliant. And yes, he's just turned 30. But I think he could be brilliant for the players coming through. He's 30, Ben. He's 30. He's just turned 30. I think he could be brilliant for experience. What about where are you with number 6? And everyone else, number 6. Who is your number 6?
I mean, the Wharton would be a dream. I mean, just having the English spine, or just having Archie Gray, Wharton, Gibbs White, Madison. I mean, that'd be amazing. Paulinho, I rate as a player. I don't know why it hasn't worked out for him in Bayern. I question his passing ability. I'm not sure. It's up to Frank. I don't know what Frank wants out of his 6s, whether he wants a destroyer or whether he wants somebody who's good on the ball and can start at the counterattacks and the attacks. So it all depends on Frank. But given that Paulinho is 30, we usually don't buy 30-year-olds. It could be a loan. I mean, it could be Douglas Luiz as well. I know he's being offered to all teams. I know Everton is interested. We'll definitely have some options, but if it's not Wharton, I would take Paulinho for sure. It just depends on what Frank wants as a 6.
Yep. I will say Rinketic. We got to say Rinketic. I would take away your spanner for this personally. How dare you come in with Morgan Gibbs White? Blasphemy. That will not be tolerated on this channel.
Ben,
we're not going to get human. He's a very good player. It's not going to happen. And I'm not just saying that because of the Arsenal tattoo. 100%, Lynn. 100%. The relationship they had was incredible. So let's have a look. Has anyone else been moved? Let's have a look. Has anyone else gone for a number 6? Let's have a look. Nope. So we'll crack on with the other ones. But can't wait to see an actual coach improve. Frank and his staff look great in the training clips. Actually, obviously, this is the thing. I love that Henry Song is here. I don't think I regularly see him in our chat, so it's always good to see him here. This can be very, very doctored. Obviously, the Spurs media team can do it, so it looks that way, and they didn't do it with Adge, or it could be Adge didn't do it. But seeing Justin speak the way he did, and seeing after the running, like we said, I think the coaching staff is just night and day. We're going to see throughout the season. And I will say, with what people would say as well, remember Poch got off to a slow burner start, and then second half of the season, like his training kicked in, the fitness kicked in. It may be that way with Frank. I don't think it will. I think we'll start off well, not probably as well as the Ange 10-game whatever, but it's exciting times. Here we go. Top 3. Well, let's have a look. Okay, 3 players you're excited to see under Frank. We've kind of done that, but now let's add a third person in. And I would. Dragusin is someone in a back 3 that could play a multiple. We could see a different. I personally think we should send Dragusin out on loan.
Well, when is he back? Is he back in January?
Well, do you know what? Fair play. Do you know what? One thing I will say to him: fair play to his strength and his character, because he's already running.
Oh wow! Okay.
He's already on the training pitch, so his recovery is immense. But I think that he needs first team football and to get regular, and I just cannot see it with everything that's. But I think Danso's ahead of him.
Danso, for sure.
We've got to remember, and there is something coming down the line about selling players or getting players off. We're going to need to find room for these players. So to get Dragusin back up to full fitness, I wouldn't be opposed to loaning him. But if you could have one more player out of the box that you're excited to see, Eugene, who would it be?
Meaning to come in, or
no? As a player we've got that you're thinking like a outside of the box, not like a. Who would you go for that you think might be a surprise package?
Look, like I said, I'm excited to see Archie Gray. I want to see improvement this year. Otherwise, I mean, I want to see what Van der Ven can do in a system that doesn't rely on his pace. Yeah, because last season, the thing that he did the best for us was sprint up and down. I want to see if we do play a more conservative system or a low block, if he's going to be just as good. So I want to actually see the Van der Ven, the Romero partnership, and see how Frank plays them. And if Frank does play back three, Dragusin would definitely fit that. I'm just not sure if Dragusin is good in a back two. His passing isn't great. His turning radius isn't great. So it's going to be interesting what Frank wants to do.
Joe, before we go on to the next question, I'm just going to bring a statement up from Craig. Are people feeling this way right now? There's 187 of you in here. I'll go to you first, Eugene. Just yes or no to Craig's statement. Is it weird saying this, but I totally trust the club and Frank to make the right choice when it comes to the CDM? And before you answer, I just want to say a very close friend of mine that I haven't been able to speak to for a while, David Shire, is in the chat all the way from Australia. Big up to you, my dear, dear, dear friend. Adoji, thank you for that comment that you've just said. But where are you? Would you say yes or no to...
Totally. I'm not sure yet. Again, maybe it's my PTSD, but for once, based on who we're linked with, I do I see a pattern. I see a plan. It makes sense to me. Our links make sense. So given what I've seen, I think I do trust him at this point.
Okay, so we've got no from Scott M. I wouldn't have gathered.
Of course, of course.
I don't from Lord Watershed. Fair. Frank, yes. The club, not so sure. I do in other positions. Joe, I'm. Listen, I'm with that, but I don't think, and what from people are saying and hearing, his responsibilities of when it comes to players and signings has been all taken away from him. Has all been taken away. It's Charrington, it's Vinay, it's Lange, it's Frank. All right, let me rephrase this question a different way before we go back to the actual questions. If we sign Wharton or Paulinho, and I'm just saying those two, as the number 6, will you then start trusting the club for other signings? Let's see what people say to that.
Yes, definitely. And again, I just want to see a plan that makes sense. And if that happens with Gibbs White, with Kudus, and with the 6, the plan that the club is showing us, to me, it would make sense. I would trust them. And again, it's obvious, as you said, this is not Levy being Levy. Come on, Scott. Time to be positive, my friend.
Listen, I will say, and I have to say this when it comes to Scott, and I've said it before. Scott, when I speak to him away from this, I don't just speak to Scott on the YouTube channel. He's actually very upbeat about what's going on. He's actually a lot more looking forward to and positive about anything going on. So Scott has been very, very. It's been a change of direction from Scott on a lot of things. But if he's saying no with that, then that's absolutely fine. But now we'll get back to the actual questions we've got going on. So let's have a look. Quick question. I'll just answer this very quickly. Someone's asking where he's gone nowhere. He's using this summer to relax, enjoy, and do everything. He's going to be back with Tottenham away and everything. He hasn't gone anywhere. He's just taking this time right now to enjoy summer, like we all should be, enjoying summer, doing the things we love and enjoying it as European champions. And he'll be back bigger, bolder than ever, and everyone will look forward to it. Musa Ali, what does the new investment really mean for our transfer window? Eugene, you take this one first.
I mean, it means everything. Right now, there's still questions about where the money's coming from, whether it's the naming rights deal, whether it's an investment. Something is obviously happening. Again, we don't put up 60 million, ever for a player. So something is going on, whether, again, it's the naming rights, whether it's the investment, but it's exciting times. And one thing might be very unpopular on this channel. Brian, I am as Levy out as you guys are, right?
Yeah.
But I think right now, the position where the club is at financially, it's very attractive to a potential buyer, given we don't have issues with the PSR. We're not like Villa or even Newcastle. The club is in the prime position to be taken over and taken to the next level. And I feel like that's what's happening right now. I feel like something is going on, and we're in a good place. And partially on the financial side, Levy has a big part in that.
Yeah, listen,
I have to give him some credit for that.
I agree with it. I agree with what you said. I will say there are some lovely comments in the chat about the channel and what we're doing and where we're going. So thank you very much. It means a lot to everyone at Tottenham on Tour. And like I said, I've fully got my mojo back, which is a good thing. And I just want to stream a lot. And we'll be doing, I think I'll be doing another late stream. And when I say late, I mean 9 p.m. my time, 2 a.m. UK time. So if you're night owls, you have some company. But I want to keep doing shows as well that people from North America, Australia, Japan, Korea, all the other time zones get to be a part of. It means a lot, Musa. It means a lot to me. What it means as well is I think if new ownership and investment are in, all it's always been is about having the money to actually invest in the players and go big. This will enable us to finally do it. We've been in this position for such a long time, just waiting for investment and someone to go, right, we're going to go big. And this is what will do it. Eugene, I'll let you go first. Another question from Musa. Why are you, and that's both of us because we are both, so confident that the deal goes through with Morgan Gibbs-White?
I'm not a lawyer or an expert in contracts, but based on what I've been hearing from a lot of people is that regardless of the NDA that was or wasn't there, if the clause is triggered, it's triggered. That's it. The legal issues are around the NDA, not the release clause. So they might go back and forth about some potential damages, this or that, but it would be between them and the agent. We're not involved. If something was leaked, it was leaked by the agent. So based on what people are saying, people in the know are saying, and the lawyers, if the clause is triggered, it's pretty much done deal. Now it's just whether they want to make it difficult for us.
Yeah, I mean, I am. One thing I will say when it comes to Spurs and transfers, they always make sure the dots are crossed, the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Spurs, I don't think have done anything wrong here. It's not Tottenham's fault. Spurs, for making a big transfer like this, don't get things wrong. If they're going to pump the money down, they're not going to do anything stupid. They won't do it. I am just super. Like I said, I also think this is with the new investment money, and the very first thing Spurs new investors won't want to do is make a balls up of a transfer. I am supremely confident that will go through. Jack, here's a question. He had to be at training. This was his first day back. He had extra time off because he was on England international duty, and he had to attend training. He was contractually, why do those words get to be obligated to turn up? And he's not going to be at the moment to throw your toys out your pram and go on strike. So he had to go to training. And do you know what? Go to training with your blue and white clothes and just subliminally message where your heart is, like Kudus said, and move on from there.
Brian, the only thing is, I hope that the person on the Spurs side who negotiated this deal is not the same person who messed up the Cardoso's sell-on for us, where we didn't get any money. So I hope that was the only mistake, and I hope that person is gone from the club.
I will say, listen, everyone in the chat, don't listen to Danny Kiriakou. It's not my birthday. The joke is dead. The joke is done. But Danny is trying to relight the fire of it. And Junior, you're right. I touched your heart with my Levy out rants, and he's a very dear friend of mine. He's just joking and winding up. I touched your heart. Love you, brother. I hope you're good. I hope you're well. For me, he's a great player. I would love to see him at the club. But I think I would, if it was a choice, Wharton or him, I'm choosing Wharton every day. We've wanted him, or rumoured to be wanting or looking at him for ages. Do we take him? Do we not? I think he's a very, very good player. And if he came to Spurs, I would have absolutely no issue about it whatsoever. What about you, Eugene?
Good player. I haven't seen a ton of him, but he's not a starting six for us. He'd be great for squad depth, but he's not the one who I'd pencil in at the six day in and day out, and we need a starter.
There you go. So I've just got to respond to a message. So where were we? I'm back. Sorry about that. I just had to respond to something. Here we go. A question with about a player. We'll see what people think about this. I love this guy at Wolves. I don't think we need him now. Ruben Neves. Well, you wouldn't say he's not at Wolves now. He's in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I don't think he's taken a massive wage drop to come to Spurs.
Yeah.
People, how are you feeling about Ruben Neves?
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed. I think his wages, he's not going to come back to the Prem.
There we go. Seattle, my good friend John, who was on the show last week, making his debut. Big up to my dear friend John. Good night, Mr. Kiriakou. You really need to drop it, brother. You need to drop it. Get some new material, brother. Get some new material. Right, next question. Where were we? Oh, it's not a question. It's it is. I don't believe we'll be signing MGW for the 8. I genuinely think he'll play him as a 10. Big up, Terry, brother. What's your thoughts? Do you think he's going to be a number 10, or you think he's going to be number 8, or both? I think he's going to be both.
He's getting both. I mean, based on Madison's track record, he'll be out for a third of the season, and for once, we're going to have a great option at the 10. And you know me, I'm not the biggest fan of Madison, so if eventually he went and Gibbs White was our 10, full-time 10, I'd be happy with that. But as you said, he'd do both, 8 and a 10, which is going to give us a lot of options.
There you go. So let's see the next one. Now, Joe, what we're going to have this conversation. I'm going to be interested with everyone in the chat. Rick left this. Sarr, Kulu, Johnson down the pecking order. Let's deal with this one by one. And I'm going to leave Kulusevski till last.
Oh, that's the guy I wanted to talk about. Phil isn't here. So
that's the biggest one. So we're going to leave him till last. We'll quickly talk. Do your Sarr and Johnson review, Eugene, and then we'll go from there. So what do you reckon with Sarr and Johnson?
They're good squad options. Sarr, I like Sar. He just, in my mind, he hasn't improved in the last 2, 3 years on the technical side. He's got the great engine, he has a great attitude, but he's not an aide that we need. But as a squad option, I rate him. I would keep him. Same thing with Johnson. We know what Johnson can do off the bench. He's a great option, especially if we play on the counter. I don't know if Frank is going to play him centrally or what, but again, they give us a deep bench. We have a lot of options, and I would keep both Sarr and Johnson.
So I think Sarr would actually improve greatly under Frank. If a Morgan Gibbs-White comes in, when Morgan Gibbs-White comes in, and if it's a Paulinho or a Wharton or whoever it may be, Sarr goes right down the pecking order just by default to me. But again, we've got to play in 4 competitions. Fitness and rotation is a massive thing. Johnson, I think, is going to be night and day. He is going to be more central. But again, it's how he's going to play and how much game time he gets. But now let's talk on your views about Dejan Kulusevski, because I'm going to have quite a bit to say about comments I've seen made at me on We Are Tottenham TV and other things. But you go.
Yeah, I'm just looking if Phil P is around, because I'm afraid of KDL if he's not. So I love Kulusevski. I love his attitude. I love what he brings. And as an overall footballer, I like what he's all about. My concern is that he does not have a position. He doesn't have enough pace to be on the wing. And he's not really a 10. He can play in a 10, but his passing range isn't there. His shooting isn't there. I mean, he'd be a great false 9. With our options right now, I just don't see where he fits in. I just don't see it. I could be wrong, but I just think we have better options at every position at this point, almost every position, if you look at the wings and midfield.
So I've seen a lot of comments when Frank came in, I said on We Are Tottenham TV, I think Kulusevski may be a casualty with Thomas Frank. And I don't mean that because he's not good enough.
Right, I agree.
This was before we heard about the investment, and we might have to sell a player or the sell to buy or whatever to raise funds. He is a very, very good player. Love him as a player. But there's so many people going, he's our hardest working player last season. He was our best player. And he was, don't get me wrong, the start of the season, he was electric. Dejan Kulusevski, and I think a lot of it is because he gets overplayed so bloody much because of his fitness or whatever. He gets absolutely used and abused and overplayed. I've said this saying for years, overplayed and undervalued. And I always say this, and I'm not talking financially. I'm talking about if he's one of those, if he's fit, he plays. And I think you got to remember, he looked very, very good in the first 6 months of Conte. He looked very, very good in the first 5-6 months of Ange this season. But then he goes and he disappears. And he becomes greedy. I don't see how he's. You got to remember as well, he's injured for the first part of the season. We ain't going to see him till about November. I seriously think that Kulusevski, I think, put it this way, he's either going to be incredible under Thomas Frank or we're going to get rid. Not because he's not good enough. I just don't think that Kulusevski he's consistent enough. I really don't. I don't know. I might get a lot of hate because of that.
Where does he play, Brian? Where does he play? If at the 10 we have Madison and Gibbs-White, on the right we have Kudus and Johnson. Where is his best position? I just don't know.
Exactly. It's going to be a lot of rotation. Don't get me wrong. I could be completely wrong. But if we had a question right here, right now, I'll tell you what, let's ask this question before we go through the others. So everyone in here, 179 of you, if you can agree, if you can put a player in, out of, let's say, Spurs big players, the first team players from last season, everything, who do you think could be the big casualty under Thomas Frank? Not because they're not good enough or whatever, but you just think there may be a player Spurs cash in on. Because we've got to remember, we're talking about getting these players in. one of the biggest things I've hated under Daniel Levy is we've never sold players when it's like, do you know what? We could use this money to finance something better for the manager. We could use this money rather than letting their contracts run down and getting rid when they're selling a player and go, do you know what? We're going to elevate, or there's a different way we're going now, and you don't cut them up. Not you don't cut the mustard, but we're going to cash in on you at your highest so we can reinvest in the new way things are going. I think for me, Kulu is that player.
Yep, I agree. I mean, personally, I would sell Madison because I just don't rate him as much. But I think it would be either Kulu or Bentancur. I feel like with our options in the midfield, especially if Bissouma doesn't want to go, I feel like we might cash in on Bentancur if Bergvall steps up like he did last season. I just think that Bentancur is expendable.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, Richie, I'd say is going out the door anyway. So I'm talking about players that probably would have been a mainstay, that were a mainstay. See, this is the thing, Alex. Big up to you, Alex. Just seen you in the chat as well. Kulusevski played 700 minutes. I mean, Madison picked up his injuries, and obviously Kulu did. But we've done this so many times with players, whereas if you fit your play, rather than being concerned about rotation, keeping them fit. Let's see what else people have said. Kulu, Bissouma, Son. I think Bissouma and Sonny, we don't know, but it's up in the air. Kulu is definitely going to be here this season or whatever. I think Kulu or Vicario, if James is still in the chat, you're going to get it. Oh, big up to you, buddy. He's hoping Richarlison. Let's see who else people have said. Johnson, okay. Johnson, good time to cash in. I think Tony, I think with Frank wanting Johnson at Brentford, I think Johnson has got this season and we're going to see a difference with him. And maybe if not, yeah, maybe.
Don't forget that Johnson and Gibbs White had the great chemistry when they played.
Oh, unbelievable. Let's have a look. Has anyone else put a comment in? Madison has been the one.
I would say Madison, for sure.
Oh my God, one of my favourite Australians in the world and one of the most beautiful Australians in the world. Ren, big up, darling. I haven't seen you for ages. I hope you are good. I hope you are and the family well. I hope the Australians, I meant to say Alsatians, German Shepherds are well as well. Let's have a look. Unfortunately, I think Madison, there you go. Yeah, so there's a lot of people saying Madison. Paul's going Bissouma. We'll see, but we have to get players out the door. Let's have a look at the next question. Here's from Daniel. After Kudus and MGW, how many more incomers do you reckon? Eugene and people in the chat?
So we got what? Tel, Takai, Kudus.
So
for sure we're getting a 6. And I think we'll get probably one more defender in. I don't think we're going to bring in a striker. Don't think Wissa is going to come in. I think 2 more.
Everyone is good. Thank you very much indeed, Red. I think 3 more are coming in.
3 more.
But when I say that, I think one is going to be a blockbuster, like an MGW Kudus level or higher. Then there'll be a youngster, so to speak, 20, 21-year-old. God knows what position or where. And then I think we'll have another 5 million like Takai, which if we do that, absolutely fine with it. But I think, actually, wait, like Claire just said, we need a striker.
But actually, Brian, I think that question, I think it all depends on the outgoings. If we can sell Bissouma and Richarlison, not only that it gives us more money, it opens up some squad spots. And then we're going to go in for a striker. But if Richarlison stays, if Bissouma stays, if Son stays, we have no roster spots.
You're absolutely spot on. Next one from my brother, Bobby K. If MGW deal, if Morgan Gibbs White deal falls through, it's not going to, and it looks like we're out of Eze, where do we go? Who do we go for in that same price range? That's a great question.
I mean, I think there are a lot of good midfielders in the 60 million price range. If it falls through, we're definitely getting somebody like Wharton for sure. But I think I told you offline, Brian, I 100% I'm certain this deal is going to go through.
Yep.
But worst case scenario, even if it doesn't, I still have faith that this club has intent to drop 60 million on a top player. And I feel like in Europe, there are a lot of players in that range who are going to come in and improve us. But I'm sure it's going to happen. Simons, definitely. Maybe Xavi Simons, for sure.
Yeah. That's where I go. But like I said, Bobby, the rest of the question is moot because the Morgan Gibbs-White deal does not fall through. Big up to you. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before, so welcome to Tottenham on Tour. And everyone, welcome if you're new to the channel. I hope everyone is liking and subscribing to the channel. We've got loads of new content coming out. One of the signings the Spurs need, a new number 6 is guaranteed. What positions are vital to you, Eugene?
Well, again, it depends. Like, is Ben Davies staying or going? We definitely need a left-sided center back who can hopefully play as a left back as well.
That's the comment.
Can he play left back?
I don't know about left back, actually. I don't know about left back. So.
We need one full back to cover for either Poirot or Destiny, right? Because Spence can play on both sides. So we need one more full back for sure. And I would actually, if Bissouma goes, I wouldn't mind another midfielder. Of course, a striker as well. But
6 full back and striker for me. 6 full back and a striker.
Exactly.
Because you got to remember the rest of it. If Richarlison goes or whatever, we can go again in January. And if there's new investment, who knows? Before we go into chats, we've just got another super chat from a great supporter of the channel, Melware. Big up to you and thank you so much. James Madison is a fantastic creative force. Gibbs-White offers a more direct and electrifying approach. His ball-carrying ability and relentless energy will add up. Do you know what? Could not agree any stronger if I tried, and I couldn't even put it better myself. This is exactly... I think James Maddison being freed up and not having the inverted fullbacks taking up his space is night and day from last season or the previous season, Eugene.
Yep, spot on. Agree.
Malware, thank you for your support, and never have truer words been spoken than that super chat. Let's go back. Jack, I will tell you, and anyone that knows me or watches this channel will know the heartbreak for me if this happens. I really pray to God Spurs don't. I know Justin Concrane loves him. I've said it so many times. If we do this, within 3 years, he's at a Big Six club. Mark my words. Mark my words. This boy is a superstar, and I do mean superstar. And this is the biggest of all things for that. Can't wait to say I told you so. This is bigger to me than Levy selling the club and us starting to do well and saying, do you know what? We all said when he leaves, things will be better because all those grass may not be greener. This will be the biggest I told you so ever. And when it does happen, if it's in a Spurs shirt, I will go, you think I'm delirious now? Oh my God, I'm going to be bringing, and I hate saying this term, I will be bringing out receipts left, right, and centre. I'll probably go 24/7, or sorry, 24/7, a 24-hour stream just on the glory and the brilliance that is Alfie Divine, and it will be the biggest I told you so. I am obsessed with Alfie Divine, and he is going right to the top. Eugene, where are you with Alfie?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched him play much. He's definitely talented. My concern is the pathway from the academy. We keep buying youngsters, and my concern is with Gray, with Tell, with Bergval, Takai, is if we're going to give our youngsters a pathway to the first team. If you look at Donnelly, Divine, Mikey Moore, even, I'm just not sure if they're seeing a pathway, and that might cost us.
That's fair play. That's fair and understandable. Daniel Field has just put in a super sticker. Thank you very much, my dear friend. I hope you're good. All right, so where we've got it. Yeah, this is a funny one. I mean, we all saw that leak of those photos today. Who do we reckon? Let's have some fun, people. Who do we reckon won the long throw competition? I'm going to be funny and say Vicario, just because he can, but he's not going to be taking the long throws.
I would say Danso. Just
Oh, that's a good shout. Well, I say good shout. No one knows.
yeah, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Danso looks like a big lad who can throw a ball far.
There you go. I'm liking your Kevin Danso. Do you know what? Mate, people are coming in. VDV. I think with VDV, you want him in the box for the long throws, even though his heading is whatever. Maybe Danso's been one. VDV or Danso. Danso. Pedro Porro. Joe, I don't know if he's. But this is the thing. Hopefully, do you know what I'm going to love as well? And I saw people talking about this, and I've watched Brentford, and they do it. They take their throws quickly. Or I say quickly, a lot quicker than we do. Whenever we take our throws, I'm sure people are in the pub or watching it at home, or even in the stadium, going, "My God, make some space, move for the guy." There's just never any movement. But I hope we start seeing long throws. And Danso seems to be. Oh, there's a shout! I don't take him for West Ham. Did he take? Do you know what? Do you know what? We'll soon see. We'll soon see. Paul Brown, I think you had a go at me the other day for saying about Vieira being better than Keane. Don't use this blasphemy here, mate. We'll say it's a draw now, Paul. We'll say it's a draw. I don't think we've seen the last of Divine. I don't think we've seen the last of Donnelly. I think this is make or break for Scarlett.
He's not good enough. Like, we need to do what Chelsea does, for example. Youngsters who we know are not good enough, we got to sell them. We got to make some money from those kids. Scarlett, definitely not good enough.
Well, we shall see. But you know what? The next one is from Daniel, and we'll have a little discussion on this one. Van der Ven under Frank will be interesting. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, let's throw this open to you as well. Whilst Eugene gives his answer, then I'll give mine. Do you think we're going to see a better Van der Ven under Frank, even though he won't be making his non-stop last-ditch tackles and doing his hamstrings to the world of, or not doing him to the world of good? Or do you think he was set up to play Ange Ball, whatever Ange Ball may be? Where are you with it?
That's a tough one, Brian. I don't even know what a better Van der Ven would be like. I mean, we know he's not great in the air. That's, based on his size, that's his weakness. So he definitely needs to improve there. Other than that, it's tough. I mean, I think he benefits a lot from playing with Romero, given how Romero is good on the ball. If Romero stays, I do feel very, very good about the partnership. Whether he'll improve, I think, I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know what Frank is going to expect from him. I just hope that his injury record is not going to ruin his career. Because I know from American football, once your hamstring goes, if you use your pace, then it just keeps going. It's not going to stop. So I really hope, for his sake, that he's not going to have to sprint 60 yards back and forth. So just that would be a win in my book. Tactically, I'm not sure what Frank is going to expect from him. I just hope he improves his aerial attribute.
There you go. Before I give my answer, let's see what people have been saying. Now, just before I do that, Daniel has just put in another super sticker. Thank you so much for the support of the channel and your friendship, buddy. It means the world to us here at Tottenham on Tour. Let's see what people are saying. John, the Seattle Hotspur has said a better Van der Ven or a better Van Den, a Van der. We've got no Ven. We got Paul saying Frank will get the best out of him. Better from in. He still shows. Let's see. No, because Van der Ven. No, because Van der Ven. We'll come back to that. We got. I don't think he needs to be a 6, buddy. Mm-hmm. I don't think he needs to be a 6. Hotspur state of mind. Completely agree. Let's see what else people have said about. Better Van der Ven means healthy. Yup. What has Scott said? I think Van der Ven is going to be exposed. Okay. Romero is the best. So let's see if there's been any. No, because Van der Ven isn't Frank type of player. Okay, we can see Frank at left back, Van der Ven at left back. I would say, Jacob, all good, buddy, all good. I'll put that because there's a question in it. I will say, I think Van der Ven, I think he stays the same. I think that he might improve, but I think, first of all, he won't be playing every single game. So there will be rotation. You can see by the amount of defenders that we've brought into this football club. I think he's not going to have to use his pace non-stop all the single time. I think we're going to see a lot more about his positional style of play. And when he brings the ball forward, I've got no worries whatsoever about a drop-off or anything from Van der Ven. I think he'll stay the same, if not get better. We spoke about Decky. Yeah, I actually think he could be one that is a casualty, personally, but we will see. We're not going to see till November anyway. Let's have a look. Big up to you, buddy. Kairu, I'm going to say your name is. If I said that wrong, I apologise. Does buying a 6 block Archie Gray's development? Surely Woodland's playing midfield, but buying another 6 puts him lower in the pecking order. Where are you with it, Eugene?
I mean, if you look around the world, I don't think you see a lot of 18-year-old CDMs. In order to play the position, you need to be a man. You need to be strong. And even when Rodri came in from Spain, he struggled the first year. So I feel like Archie Gray is maybe 2 years away from actually starting for us. And actually, he might even be a better 8 than a 6. I'm not sure yet. But he definitely needs somebody who can teach him, somebody he can look up to. And I really hope that Frank eases him into a 6. I don't want to see him play as a center back. Maybe we'll see him play right back or left back on occasion if need be, but I don't want to see him as a center back anymore. But I think his ball playing skills are really good. Even in center back, he proved that he belongs in the league. I just feel like he's a couple of years away from actually being physically big and strong enough to make a difference for us.
Yeah, I think Archie Gray, I think bringing in number 6, it depends who it is. If it's Paulinho, he's going to learn so much off of him. Yep. Got to remember, he's young. He's just turned 20. We were talking again on Tottenham Tour this morning, and a question came up saying, do you reckon a loan could help him? Depending on who we get. Let's just say we don't know what's going on or who comes in. I think him going on loan to a Bournemouth could do in the world of good. Or a Premier League team like that. I don't think it blocks his development. I think if we're going to become this big club, we need serious competition in each place. And with all the competition that comes in, you get better and better with the quality around you. So I think he's going to... right, I just need to address with this guy. You won't batter me in any football terms. I'm not speaking foolishness. I see the crap you say on channels. You run your mouth as a troll. You have Ty from Arsenal Fan TV you are horrifically vile to many people in chats and just run your mouth. So you will not come on. You will not batter me in footballing terms. And that's the last thing I'm going to give you the attention of, because you're just vile and talk utter nonsense. So that's all I'm going to say with that guy. In fact, if any of the mods can block this fool, that will be absolutely wonderful, because that's what he is. And there are a few mods in here, so please do block him. Got a couple of super chats. First of all, Faz Radfar, I haven't seen you for a while, buddy. I hope you're good. Frank and Levy should give fans. I thought it was like Frank and Levy should give managers 3 years. So I think Frank will give himself 3 years. Fans and Levy should give a manager. I agree. It's what we've wanted. We've seen it work under Redknapp. Poch was working under Yol. It's what should happen. Obviously, we're on this channel. I will say, Fazrafar, we've stopped all the whether you loved him, hated him. I don't mean you. I mean in general. He's gone. It's done. But I do agree. I do agree. A manager should get 3 seasons to see where we're going with it. You agree with that, Eugene?
Oh, for sure. That's what we've been asking for. Yeah, definitely. I really hope that Frank gets at least that.
There we go. There you go. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn, for blocking him. Don't give him the attention. I've addressed it. It's gone. It's done. There wasn't a big up to you, Faz, by the way. Claire, you haven't put in a super chat, darling. You've just given us £2. If you have put in another message somewhere, I will bring it up. Let me just go through it and see if she has. But thank you for your support of the channel. Let's get back to the chat that we have. Lynn, big up. Your question has come up. Or saying, look at Newcastle. The same investors did the same when they first came in. Now Eddie Howe has not been able to spend so much. So what makes Spurs think it'll be any different? Lynn, the big difference is the way that we've been set up through Daniel Levy and the way we've done things. We are so far advanced and ahead of the curve, PSP, I was about to say, PSR and FFP, that we've got so much daylight that we can spend straight away. And with the added investment, it gives us even more. Newcastle are now starting to flex their muscles because they've been able to do things and bring in the revenue and get Champions League football that they could do it. When they took over Newcastle, they were nowhere near what we could offer or do. So that's why I think it's very, very different at Spurs. And that has been because of the way Spurs has been run, and there's no getting away from it. That's the difference. That's the difference for me. What about you, Eugene?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said about Levy before, that unlike Villa, Forest, and even Newcastle, we're well positioned with FFP and PSR, where any investment we can kick on. And one thing that Newcastle did, they stuck with Eddie Howe even through the rough period when they were struggling when they were in Champions League. They stuck with Eddie Howe, and now we can all see where they are. So we should follow suit.
Completely agreed. Right, we're going to go through these because my wife is just cooking dinner. Or I say cooking dinner. She's making a lovely gazpacho. And she just asked me, in this weather, it's been lovely. Before we do Worcester, super sticker from my man, Terry Wright. Thank you very much, my dear brother. Right, let's go back to where were we? Let's go to Worcester. Yes or no, would you have him at Spurs?
I mean, in the vacuum and isolation, of course, he's a good player. I just don't see it happening based on our targets. But I definitely take him.
Oh, 100%. Do you know what? What I would love, and I've been saying it just as a joke, it's literally once Gibb White's come through and you see Nottingham Forest want to use that money to bring in Visser, I would just love it if Spurs went, oh, yeah, now we're really going to piss you off. And went and signed Visser as well. Visser, I mean, Scott M, the one thing Scott M is very, very excited about the potential of Visser coming. I think he will be an extremely good player to bring into the football club.
You know, one thing that'd be even better if they get Wissa and Mbeumo stays and United doesn't get him. That would be amazing.
Yeah, do you know what? I cannot see Mbeumo coming now because of Kudus.
I'm talking about United. If he doesn't go to United,
we get him to stop it. Exactly. Yeah, God, exactly. Do you know the amount?
That would be amazing.
How good could it be that Spurs could be the team that just piss all over everyone's parade? Spurs aren't the stocking horse. Spurs use everyone else as a stocking horse. That would be awesome. Lynn, again, big up to you, Lynn. Brian, is Watson a player who goes to the next level, especially in the chat? What's your thoughts?
Oh, I love him. Just give, how much he's improved in the last year or two. I think he's going to be a top player. He's going to be £100 million player in a year or two. I mean, I love him. I think he's great. And with him and Gibbs White, now they would be surrounded by good players. And I think they'll just kick on, both of them. But Wharton, top player.
Yeah, Lynn, I think he's a top player. Do I think Champions League he's ready for? We'll only find out if he comes. He forced his way into the England team after 6 months at Palace. Could he do that at Spurs? But what I think he does give is if he does come, the game before a Champions League game, he can start the Premier League game, and whoever is going to play that role in the Champions League can have, right, you're going to be playing. This is what it's going to come down to, squad rotation. Do I think Wharton's ready for Champions League this season? Maybe, maybe not. But in a couple of seasons or the season after, I 100% think he'll be Champions League ready. Here we go. Malware again. Which players? Oh, that's a great question. Who do you think this season? I will say 2 or 3 because we can go for it. Who do you think are the first team? But let's not go down the youth prospect. First team from Ange Postecoglou's starting lineup. Who do we think is last chance saloon this season? Or not last chance, but make or break, yeah.
I have, in my mind, 3 players. One, Solanke. He definitely has to give us goals. He needs to step up. Number 2, Madison. He needs to be more consistent, and he needs to prove that he's not just a legend in his own mind, that he's actually a top player. He needs to give us more. And last one, if he stays, Romero. If he stays, if we don't sell him, which doesn't look like we will, he needs to stay fit. And I feel like if those 3 have good seasons, we're going to do well.
Yeah, I think let's have a look. Make or break. I think, well, Romero is whether he signs a contract. I think Bentancur, we said Kulusevski. Sarr.
Yeah.
I can't even say Sonny because Sonny, if he stays, he'll be going at the end of the season. We're not going to give him another contract. I don't. It's a really good question, but I wanted to do it on first teamers. But Sarr, it could be as well. Next one, effing hell. Was you happy when Bale was sold? No, I bloody well wasn't. No, I wasn't, and especially with the players we brought in with the money. But then again, we look at it and we say sell a player at his highest value. He wanted. I don't. If you find a Spurs fan that says they were happy when Bale sold, I don't think you'll find one.
Yeah. I
don't think you'll find one. Right, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions left. Then we're going to wrap it up because we said we're going to go for an hour and a quarter. Here we are, an hour and a half. But we wanted to spend time with you, 192 people that are in the chat. So, is Kudus a one-season wonder at West Ham? Is Kudus a one-season wonder at West Ham? Last season, he did not hit the same heights. After you, Eugene.
Well, I think West Ham's best player, Bowen, he plays on the right, and that's Kudus' best position. So he had to play centrally, he had to play on the left, and West Ham was not a good team. Some people say that he has attitude issues, this and that. We'll see. But at Ajax, he was great. His first season at West Ham, he was great. I just think if he's played in the right position, and if he's surrounded by good players, he's going to cook for us.
Exactly. I think Kudus, like you said, he was in a West Ham team that were struggling, that got a new manager in. He went on the left so Bowen could operate on the right. First season, he was exceptional for West Ham. And let's face it, whatever we think of our squad, it has got more quality than West Ham has. And playing with better quality gives you better quality. I've got no concerns whatsoever about Kudus. But Paul, good to see you. David Shire, my brother, any chance of a fullback? I think a fullback comes in, even if it's Sirkin. And you know what? If it is Sirkin, as much as I'd love Anthony Robinson or a recognised fullback, if Spurs are doing the business they're doing or what it looks like, if it's a Sirkin, fine. But I think a fullback is definitely coming in. What about you, Eugene?
I agree with you. Sirkin, Kyle Walker-Peters, isn't he like in Turkey or something, or Saudi, I think, or because there were links with him, but it definitely probably would be a homegrown player due to our issues. But yeah, I wouldn't mind Sirkin if we do the rest of our business.
Here we go. Mr. Seattle Hotspur. Now, I know Seattle's West Coast. How far is Seattle from you in San Diego?
So Sacramento. So I'm in the North California, maybe about 11 hours driving, 2 hours flying.
Okay, so
So
not massive amounts, but
West
let's have.
Coast, pretty close.
Okay, I'm going to make it a rule now on Tottenham on tour. There's going to be no more if Morgan Gibbs White's get over the line. We need to get rid of this if word
It's when.
and replace it. Bingo. We need to replace. So I'm going to when Morgan Gibbs White gets over the line, combined with Kudus. Does this break the catch-22 of top players not wanting to play for a club that's without superstars? Yes.
I don't think it's about superstars. I think a lot has to do with Champions League. London is a big deal, but ultimately, I am a believer in wages. If you pay good wages, and if you're competing for Europe, good players are going to come. Obviously, we're not going to get top players. We're not getting Mbappe's, obviously, but the level down, there is no reason if we consistently compete for Champions League and pay good wages, there is no reason why we cannot attract players might not be global superstars, but are a level down.
Completely agree. And this is the thing. What we've got to remember is we've had the superstars at this football club, whether it be a Harry Kane, a Gareth Bale, whatever, and we haven't used those players to really, really bring in the quality alongside them. If we keep buying the players of Morgan Gibbs White, Kudus, and other players, the real quality will come. And right now, it's about Frank building a team or a squad, shall I say, a squad. And it's starting to take shape. So we will see. But I don't think we need to go out and buy the one. Look at PSG. Look what they've done recently.
I was about to say.
They've got rid of all the superstars. And it happened with the Galacticos as well. And obviously, we're talking night and day for what we're doing. But they brought in all the big stars, the big egos, the top talent that individually are brilliant. But put them together just didn't work. So great question from you, buddy. Shemtan, big up. I hope you and Eugene are good. Are you worried about getting in all these midfielders, but no midfielders leaving? What about striker left back? We spoke about the striker left back bit. Eugene, where are you with the bit about the midfielders?
No, I'm concerned. We definitely don't have space for Bissouma, and if he wants to stay and run down his contract, so he can get a signing bonus next season, I believe, or in 2 years, that's going to be an issue. So I'm interested to see what Frank is going to do, whether he's going to integrate him into a squad or if he's going to just tell him, look, just go and play with under 21s and I don't want to see you. I'm really wondering how Frank is going to approach it. Is he going to do what Amorim did at United to Garnacho and just go scorched earth, or is he going to try to integrate him? But I just don't know where space is going to come in. We definitely need to sell. That's an issue.
Well, I'm going to say, Shem, what I'm loving this season is we look like we want to. I've had a big issue, and I think many Spurs fans have, that we always are waiting to sell the player to bring in his replacement. And we always miss out on key targets because we're waiting for so long for that player to get out. It's another reason why I think things are changing at Tottenham Hotspur, because it seems we're getting our players in and making sure they're in through the door and in the training ground and with us before getting rid of the players. I think the players will be going. I think there's talks already going on about players, and we're dealing with it quietly. Again, look at Lange when he did West Ham's Danny Ings to Aston Villa. Bang, done. No one knew about it. I know it's not a superstar signing. I think the sales will come, but Spurs are getting their house in order first, which is wonderful to see. And the final question, Jacob, big up to you, buddy. I'm good. I hope you are. Any combinations you'd like to see in the Reading lineup? Eugene? If you had to say two players that you want to see, so let's just... I'm looking forward to seeing Johnson Solanke with Johnson centrally.
I want to see Archie Gray at the 6. I want to see Tell, because I'm really curious how Frank is going to use Tell. I just want to see the youngsters, because I know what the rest can do. I want to see youngsters to get a hint for how Frank might be using him this season. Odegaard, Gray, Tell.
Do you know what? Maybe he does it this game where he plays Solanke and one half he plays with Johnson, and in the second half, or other way around, he uses Tell.
Yep.
I think that's the one I'm looking forward to. That's the combination I'm looking at, because we could go on about them all. I mean, people obviously we're going to looking forward to see. But do you know what? Another one. I'll say another one out of the blue. I'm looking to see Vuskovic and Phillips together, because I'm sure they'll get time together. I'm looking forward to seeing what those two could do. I'm looking forward, actually. Let's do another one.
Donnelly.
Me and Shawnee Slater want to see Double D.
There you
We
go.
want to see Divine and Donnelly.
Yep.
There are a few. We are Spurs TV. Big up, buddy. I've just seen you come in. I hope you're good and well. So there's quite a few. Takai.
Okay.
Mate, do you know what? How refreshing is this? And what a question to end on. I mean, guys in the chat, just put in your combination. If you had to say a double act you want to see play off each other, alongside each other, who would yours be? But how nice is it? It's got to be nice as Spurs fans, no matter how you feel about the owners, the manager, the players. You've got to feel pumped going into pre-season and a new dawn is rising with the manager and everything. It's compared to last season or whatever, it is such an exciting season, isn't it, Eugene?
Oh, like I said, if we look at our bingo words, we're no longer just monitoring and looking and inquiring. We're actually acting for the first time, which is a very strange feeling, but may it long continue.
Scott, I've told you, mate, there's no divine blasphemy on this channel. Told you before, they're going nowhere. I am going to have, do you know what? Ben has it, that night bot that it comes up every time Donnelly or something comes up with a message saying we don't do. I'm going to have to get some kind of divine censorship going. Kudus and Morgan Gibbs-White. I don't think we are going to see Morgan Gibbs-White ready and available for Saturday. I'd love it. Then it's just the answer to my question is Morgan Gibbs-White with everyone. Morgan Gibbs-White. Yang, do you know what? Yeah, I forgot about Yang. We're going to be seeing Yang. Another one, Jeff. Mate, it's all. How good is it to be talking about this? Yes, Scott, you know this. You do know this. We do not take divine blasphemy well in this channel. It's what's it called? It's what's the word? It's a trigger for me. That's the fucking. It's a trigger for me. There's another one. Odegaard and Tell. Stuart, big up to you. But that note, ladies and gentlemen, that will be the end of the second edition of To Frank or Not to Frank. We will be back the very beginning of September to review what's gone on in August. The transfer deadline window would have shut. We would have seen Spurs win the Super Cup and him have a trophy in the locker already. We would have seen how many games have we got in August? The games in August, we will have a load to jump into.
It's an epic show.
That's going to be the blockbuster show, isn't it? Where we go from strength to strength. Eugene, I just want to say thank you for doing this with me. Thank you. You have any parting message to anyone or everyone?
No, always a pleasure. It's good to see everybody in the chat. No, I'm just excited. Let's keep this going. It's a great feeling. Every day I wake up, I check my phone, I check WhatsApp, and I'm actually excited to see what news are there. So let's keep it going. Let's win the Super Cup, as you said, and keep it going. Good vibes.
Good, exactly. And I will say before I have my final statement, thank you to Malware, Terry, Claire, to Faz, to Daniel, who gave a couple, Malware again, Rick Kane, and Moondog for your support of the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, please continue to like and subscribe to the channel. I plan to be back one night this week, probably Thursday, with a late night show, 9 p.m. Toronto time. Scott M, I'm getting less excited for the season as we talk more. He's trying to do it. He's trying to trigger me. I know what you're doing there, brother. Much love to you. I probably
fall for it.
I will do. There'll be a time where I'll just sit and I'll go, Scott! But listen, we will be back hopefully with a late night show. I'm going to try and make them weekly or bi-weekly. We will be back if there's any breaking news with a dual stream with me and the Tottenham on Tour and the Coffee Company. We will definitely be back Friday at 2 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. 9 a.m. Toronto time. And I will just end with 4 things. First of all, the Frank therapy session for all the Frankaholics is closing. Thomas, Frank. Thomas, Frank. And don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is going to be Gibbs White. And as always, Levy out.
Come on, you Spurs.